Hey guys, J77 here. Doing a two-parter, what's news, and the reason why I'm doing a two-parter instead of just a whole length is because I want to focus on just one story as part one, and then the other stories I'll cover in part two. But I decided this is a what's news topic for reasons that I followed. Originally, I was going to do this as just a separate video, a separate 3-minute video, but I find myself talking about this video in such length that it was more of anger and rant than just discussing the topic at hand. And there's a legitimate reason for it, because a lot of these so-called pro-lifers try to make laws that does more harm than good. And after hearing what was being attempted to be put into legislation in New Mexico, and the gravity of what this thing could have done to a lot of innocent victims, pretty much prosecuting innocent victim, it just got me so upset that when I did the video, because I did it not once, not twice, but 3 times, I was getting angrier and angrier to the point where it just drew attention to the people in the cafe. So I decided it was not a good idea to do a rambling video, because all the points and all the topic that I was going to talk about would pretty much be gone under the radar due to the fact of my rambling. Also, there was another thing, and this actually was a good thing. My connection was bad, so it ruined any chance of me connecting to YouTube. It wasn't YouTube's fault. It was just a bad connection from the cafe that was doing it, so that pretty much forced my hand to do it as a pre-recording. But I'm kind of glad I did, because I actually calmed down, and that's the important part. You want to do a video, but you want to do it in a more civilized way. Especially, you don't want to come over as saying that all people are like this. Not all GOPs are like this, but the majority of them right now who is running things has a very narrow-minded, arrogant way of thinking, and they are just trying to pass laws that's very clear of the agenda that they are pushing, and it is disgusting. It is wrong, and it is just desperately. It got me to scratch my head as to why they would even think this was a good idea. A lot of critics got on them, when rightfully so, but just the fact that they actually did this on a very serious, based on a very serious crime, is just mind-boggling. And without further ado, I might as well just get on to it right now so you guys understand where I'm going. This involves a bill that was presented on Wednesday. This bill was very controversial. It's called House Bill 206. Now, why is this bill very controversial? Because it pretty much cites a law based on sexual assault victims, and not in a very good way. It claims here the New Mexico bill calls post-rape abortion evidence tampering, and what this bill would have done would have basically put a woman in jail as a felony if they attempted to abort unwanted pregnancy of the attacker. And it is crazy how this bill has been set up. It's so broad that it pretty much make it victimize the person twice. That's basically what it does. I'm gonna read the whole entire article, and then I'll talk about it more. But make no mistake about it, when I was reading the article, as I was doing the video, it really angered me, brought out some very unwanted anger, and I don't want that to happen, but I'm calm now, so let's get it right done. I'm going to read the top of the article. It says, New Mexico's NM bill calls post-rape abortion evidence tampering. Critics claim sex assault victims will be criminally or forced to carry unwanted pregnancies. Lawmaker said is aimed at attackers. Now, right there, is a bone-faced lie. You can't say it's aimed at attackers when you're basically going to convict the victim, and that's what it's done. And I'm going to keep reading it so you have a clearer, broader understanding of what's going on. A New Mexico lawmaker has drawn fire for opposing legislation to classify abortion after a sexual assault as tampering with evidence. Critics pounced on House Bill 206, introduced Wednesday by Republican State Representative Cynthia N. Brown of Carr is banned saying victims of sexual assault could be charged with a felony if they sought for an abortion after rape or incest. But Brown said on Thursday that the legislation was aimed at attackers, not the victim. And this is where everything that she was trying to say is just gets thrown out the window, because none of this deters anything. I just want to make that be known. House Bill 206 was never intended to punish or criminalize rape victims, Brown said in a statement. Its intent is solely to deter rape in cases of incest, the rapist or the victim. We need to they're saying that the rapist, not the victim, would be charged of tampering with evidence. Interesting. New Mexico needs to strengthen its laws to deter sex offenders. The statement added, by adding this law in Mexico, we can help to protect women across our state. Now, before I go on, I have to ask again, how is charging a woman with a felony, possible jail time, helping deter sexual assault? How is that possible? There's no way around it. This kind of speaking is most obviously that the lady who presented this bill obviously either haven't read it or just so arrogant and so narrow-minded at what the actual prime print have said, that she honestly believes this. And either way, it's disgusting the way that she even considered thinking this is going to deter sexual assault. If anything, it's going to have the opposite reverse. Brown says she would aim to her legislature to make the intent clearer. Democrats control both the chambers, and so the legislation would never have a chance of passing. This should never even reach their doorstep. This should not even be up for discussion. The chairman of the state Democratic Party issued a statement saying the original bill was outlandish, wrong, and should never see the light of day in any legislator in this country, let alone in New Mexico. And now this is what the House Bill 206 says. It's broken up into Part A and Part B. And by the way, just to let you know, this is a USA Today report. I will leave links along with other links related to this, so that way you guys can see what's going on. I will also leave a link to the Young Turks, because they was also the one who reported, so you have a more clear idea. I will also leave a link to any of the GOPs who had something to say about it. I have been looking for them. If I don't get it on this part, I will definitely put it in part 2. I'll definitely mention a little bit in part 2. But make no mistake about it, we'll leave multiple links so you guys can understand more broadly, and that way you have more than one article to go by. But make no mistake about it, this is just absolutely disgusting. It's been broken up, the terms, which is very broad, is broken up into two parts, Part A, Part B. I'm going to read Part A first and then read Part B. It says, tampering with evidence consists of destroying, changing, hiding, placing, or fabricating any physical evidence with the intent of preventing the apprehension, prosecution, conviction of any person, or to throw suspicions of a commission of a crime upon another. And then you have Part B. Tampering with evidence shall include pondering, facilitating an abortion, or compelling or consorting any to obtain an abortion of the fetus that is the result of a criminal sexual penetration or incest, with the intent of destroying evidence of the crime. That's Part A and that's Part B. Now here's the situation here where I ask again, how is this supposed to be helping the victim? As a third-degree felony, keep that in mind, they would be charged with a felony. The crime would be carrying a sentence up to 3 years in prison. Again, I ask the question, how is this helping the victim? Somebody out there, leave a comment. Explain it to me, especially if you live in New Mexico. Leave a comment. How is this helping the victim? I just read you two broad statements that was on this bill. None of them have said anything about the person who committed the crime. It's just said in broad letters what will happen if anyone even attempts or coerce or even tries to tell a person to get an abortion. That's all it says in Part A and Part B. And you guys can read it for yourself. That's all it says. And it also says clearly that's a third-degree felony. If they're convicted, they can get 3 years in prison. So now the person has a record, a child that she was forced to want by the government. And our life is turned upside down twice. How is this helping? Brown, an attorney who just begins her second term, told the press that her bill was badly drafted and that she missed the possibility of interpretation when reviewing the language. How do you miss that? It is clear as day. It's your job. You're a representative. You're supposed to read these things before presenting it to legislation. How do you miss this? You're dealing with people's lives here. And you're telling me you didn't read the bill? That's exactly what she's saying. You gave this bill to the legislators and hope that it gets passed. And then you have the nerve to say, I missed this one? How do you miss this one? And this is another thing that goes on, and that's just her, but most of the people in Congress, they pass all these crazy bills, but they don't even read them. Don't know the broad interpretation of it. What the impact it may have, not only towards individuals, but the economy. This is a bad, I just don't understand it. And that got me mad more than anything else because, number one, she just admitted that she didn't read it or take into account the consequences it may have towards the victims. Moving right along. But the state Democrat spokesman Scott Forester said Thursday evening it's impossible that this was a mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake. This was done intent, and this is why. Noting that the bill had 9, not 1, not 2, not 3, 9 co-sponsors. So this was not a mistake. You had 9 co-sponsors pushing for this bill. And I'd like to know who these sponsors are. I want to know who these people are or what company this is. Because you got to believe there's got to be some pro-lifer who is supporting this bill. Don't care what the overall consequences will have to the victim. As long as the abortion is taken off the picture, as long as that person don't get an abortion, they don't care. And that's what this is really all about. That's what this bill is all about. And I agree with the spokesman. She got caught, he said. She can't backtrack. Her gender is clear. It is clear. This is an anti-abortion bill. This has nothing to do with the victims. This has nothing to do with the person who committed the crime. This is an anti-abortion bill. Nothing about this bill says that this is going to help the victims of rape. It's going to help victims of incest. What this bill is basically saying is that if you are with child, too bad, you're going to carry it, and if you're trying to get an abortion, we're going to put you in jail. You're basically punishing the victim here. USA Today have asked Brown what language she would add to try to clarify that the bill would target only attackers, not victims or family members who might encourage a woman or girl to have an abortion. She have not yet responded to an email. She will not respond to any email. She probably will not respond to any kind of press conference because, number one, she knows what it was. And no matter what she's trying to say, everybody knows what this is. And this is a big problem especially for those who claim they're pro-life, but is willing to step on people's rights to get their agenda across. This is an absolute disgrace. This is an absolute disgrace. To think that someone would actually come up with a bill like this without even thinking about the impact it would have. This is a dangerous bill. And again, I had to ask, how is this helping? How is this going to deter sexual crime? It's not. This idea that you can put that in there and people's going to go for it, you're losing your mind? Are you serious? Are you really serious? And this is another thing that keeps bothering me about this. And it's not just a GOP, but there's a lot of left liberals who do the same thing. They try to use a very sensitive topic that's personal to a lot of people to try and push their agenda. They did this with SOPA, and people didn't realize they were trying to we were trying to protect kids from online predators. That was one of the other reasons why they try to censor the web. But in reality, it has nothing to do with it. And they're doing it again with this. Only now they're trying to use it saying, well, we're trying to deter sexual crimes. We're trying to protect the victim. No, you're not. First of all, if it's about evidence, you can get evidence in other means. Trust me. I think the people here all across the country knows that. There's other ways of getting evidence, DNA, blood, saliva, you name it, they can get it. So the fact that you want to force a woman to carry a child that she doesn't want because of forceful acts of rape, so the fact that you want to try and tell this woman, well, I'm sorry that what happened, but that's you got to carry it. That's life. Come on, are you kidding me? Are you serious? A lot of people is getting on her. A lot of people is actually surprised that this is a woman who is actually bringing this bill to the forefront. I'm not surprised at all. I'm really not. And if the fact is that you have none of the co-sponsors, and I'm kind of curious of who she's aligned with, because I guarantee you, down the road, somebody gave this to her, and somebody who has a very strong influence towards her has told her to put this on there. Where you represent us, put this law on the table. Who are these 9 people? I want to know who these 9 people are who thought having this bill was a good idea. Who these co-sponsors are. Would it surprise me if it was some kind of, family organization who have the sanctuary of life? Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I want to know who these people are. If they have the guts to even show their faces. If they have the guts to say, yeah, we support this bill, and this is why. But I guarantee you, these GOP co-sponsors ain't going to say anything. They're probably going to keep their mouth shut and probably pray that this thing goes away. And I'm glad they reported this. Even though it's in New Mexico, I'm glad they reported this because it shows just how narrow-minded some people are, especially when it comes to abortion topics. And how they keep singing and dancing about, we don't want to interfere in people's lives. We want smaller government, which is actually ridiculous because no matter what government, big or small, they're all going to make rules that affects everybody. So the idea that government is not going to interfere with people's lives, that's ridiculous. Whether on a state level or federal level, they always do something that impacts everyone. This is one of them. You're forcing a woman to do something that she doesn't want to do. Especially when it was forced upon her in a criminal act. And the GOP wonders why they had a tough time this year, why they lost a lot of seats this year. And no one shouldn't really be shocked. I'm not shocked. I am just angry and disgusted that someone actually had the nerve to bring this bill up to the seat. That they thought this was a perfect idea, and it will not not cause an uproar. The GOP needs to wake up. We're going to live in a new generation of information. We got the web now. We got the net. Things that once considered isolated ain't isolated anymore. People can find out what goes on in every state just by clicking a mouse. And boy, what a mouse clicking when they found out about this. This here. A third-degree felony. 3 years in prison because you are seeking an abortion from a child that was... It's amazing. I can't even finish the sentence. This is why it took me so long to do this video. This is why I don't want to do it with other, What's News videos. For that specific reason. And here's the thing that also bothered me, is that not one time, they keep throwing these laws again and again and again, and not one time do these congressmen, these senators, the president, the mayors, the governors, ever once think of the impact it may have towards their state, or the impact it may have on the victim. Do they realize that there could be a chance that the victim may not even want to report a crime of rape because of this alone? Or the fact they may go in back alleys or leave the state just to get an abortion? That never comes to their minds. It always, we're trying to find a sanctuary of life. Half these guys don't even care about the life to begin with. Half these guys, they say they care about, pro-life, and they care about, life of all people. And yet, where are they when it comes to Social Security? Where are they when it comes to medical, when it comes to Medicare? Where are they when it comes to equal education for all children? You may tell me pro-life just starts and ends at a 9-month period? Give me a break. Yeah. Again, this is nothing more than an anti-abortion bill that has one thing and one thing in mind: to stop people from getting abortion, to stop victims of sexual assault from getting abortion. And the fact that they even had the goal to say they're trying to protect the women's and their families, the victims and their families, when the reality is, if you get it, all it is to demonize them, make them into criminals, put them into jail. It's an absolute disgrace. And we can talk about all the issues when it comes to this kind of topic. We can talk about all the issues about abortion, because I know there's both sides, and I want this issue to have. I want this to have common debates about this. This is not a debate. They're literally trying to force victims into carrying their attackers' children, no matter what. And if you don't, well, guess what? We're going to put you in jail. But we're doing it because of your own good. First of all, you put the woman in jail, how's she going to be a mother to the child? Another thing nobody seems to think of: how's putting the mother in jail helping? I have talked for 24 minutes. This is why I wanted to be as official part 1. I'm going to end it at that. And I know a lot of pro-lifers going to come on this video, probably thumbs it down. That's fine. You guys have your own opinion. That's fine. But there is no way you're going to convince me that this law is going to help any kind of a victim of sexual assault in any way, shape, or form. There's no way. If anything, it just proves that there are some people that are just so close-minded to the issue that they don't care who they step on just to get their point across, just to get what they want. That's what I see in this bill. That's all I see in this bill. Now, I said before, I'll leave a link to other articles. I'll leave a link to the On Turks. If there is a GOP channel on YouTube or in any other social site, I will leave a link to that. Because, like I said, I want to hear both sides of stories. I really do. I'm not just being one side on this issue. I like to hear both sides of stories. But they always think about it. This is the one bill, the one anti-abortion bill, that they really put their foot in their mouth. And if these so-called 9 co-sponsors believe this, you know what? Show your face. Step up to the plate. Be a man, be a woman, show up, show yourself in the camera, and tell the people of America why you feel this was a good bill. And don't try and sugarcoat it or play around it. Give us a straight answer for once. Because I gotta tell you, the stuff here that what she said about, deterring sexual assault is not a straight answer. If anything, you're just repeating what other people have said when they pass other laws that are supposed to combat sexual attacks of any kind. So please, give me a straight up answer. How putting a person in jail for getting an abortion from their alleged attacker helping matters? And before you say, oh, you just want to get evidence, guess what? There's other ways of doing it. It's been proven already. So that's not going to hold. There are ways of getting evidence, DNA evidence. Trust me, there is. So what, you're going to wait 9 months just to prove that kid is indeed the father of the victim is indeed carrying the attacker's child by making sure he's the father? Doesn't make any damn sense. Absolutely disgraceful. This woman just got in office, and this is the first bill she put in there. Way to go. Way to prove how narrow-minded you and some of your friends who sponsor you are. And again, I don't believe she just came out, popped this bill up in the top of her head. I believe that someone came up with the bill, someone who have helped sponsor her to get reelected. And as part of that plan, they have to post bills that is outlandish and crazy. And she just went along with it. But can you do me a favor? If you're going to propose a bill, can you at least take the time to read it? As an elected official, is that too much to ask? And the part 1, guys. I will come back with part 2 for the next 2 days. Until then, J77 signing off.